Hello and welcome today. It's January 17th and we're
Yes.
back to Lights in the Darkness. And today we have a special guest. You're not the first guest this year, but almost the first guest, Angeline Constantinou.
Woo! Give it up for Angeline.
Yes, yes.
Good morning.
Good. Well, oh yeah, for you it's good morning, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so, Angeline, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What happened? What have you done? What are you doing? Who are you?
Who am I? Who is Angeline?
Yes.
So, Angeline was born and raised in Minnesota, and I moved to New York in 1985, to New York City. And I went to college, and, I came from a Greek family. So, I had actually shared this on another podcast. Um, So let me just cut right to the chase. So now
Go
what
for
I'm
it.
doing is I'm an empowerment life coach. I'm a podcaster. I started my podcast 4 years ago. Let's Break the Silence with Angeline, based on a vision and a dream that I had 2 months before COVID, to help women amplify their voice, and because their voices need to be heard, and their voices and their stories. I believe in total transparency and helping women share their stories of what actually happened to them, whether they suffered from trauma, domestic violence, um, narcissistic abuse.
Yeah.
And,
You you gave
Allie,
me goosebumps.
I gave you goosebumps already. Wait till you
Yes,
hear the
that's
story,
good.
though. Wait till
That
you hear
is
the
good.
story. Yeah, yeah. So that was based on a vision and a dream, not knowing that COVID would happen 2 months later in March. So, um, but what happened before that, this is 14 and a half years ago, I was stuck in a very bad place. I was in a very dark place. I thought I married the man in New York City who was going to be the love of my life. And this goes back now, I would say 35 years ago. Um, we met in New York. We met at a church function through an organization, and we started dating. We were going out. And then the next thing you know, I got married at the Justice of the Peace in Rhinebeck, New York, which is 2 hours north of New York City. So, you know, I, um, so I actually, I got married when I was 25, and I was going to college and also working in his advertising direct mail business for, part time. And then I decided to go full time without finishing college. And
Ooh.
so, yeah, yeah. So, actually, they don't show it right away. I didn't know, you know, his history. He, you know, um, I didn't know, what his history was or anything. I just fell in love and got married
Yeah.
and worked at his business. People really thought that we were the Hollywood couple. But that, in the beginning, it probably showed because it was back then whining and dining in restaurants in New York City. And I was selling advertising, and I was bringing in the money. I was bringing in the sales and the revenue for his
Oh.
company. But then he started to exhibit jealousy, resentment, because when I would go out, when I would go out on the road, people were like acknowledging me, and he didn't like that. Like, they were really like, you know what I mean? Like, I had built a really, really good rapport, with people,
Yeah.
including men and women. And he became very jealous and resentful of that. So, um, so there was physical abuse, there was emotional abuse, there was financial abuse. Um, And I remember in 1999, in December, I was lying in bed and I was basically crying. I was in my robe. I was really upset because he was really insulting and demeaning me and, accusing me of, just reckless finances, which was not true, which I'll explain in a minute. So I decided to get up and just say, you know what, I'm going to go into the guest room and just sleep there tonight. And I didn't make it into the guest room.
Oh my God.
He took me behind by the neck and he threw me against the wall near the bathroom and I fell backwards and I broke my nose. My nose was broken. I was bleeding all over the place, bleeding like crazy. And what is not unusual is that, he sort of came to his senses and he carried me down the stairs because we had a 2-floor house. And he took me to the emergency room. And I was in the ER all night
Oh my
until
goodness.
5 o'clock in the morning. I was on ICU. I was, it was just, I didn't think I was going to make it that night. For a minute there, I lied there. I was crying and I'm just asking God, please save me because I don't deserve this. I don't deserve, this treatment. So make a long story short, the surgeon came out and told me I would need reconstructive nose surgery, which did
So
happen 2 days.
that's
Yeah.
just, you just didn't just break your nose, but you like
Fractured it. Yeah.
broke your nose.
Mhm.
Black and blue all over my face. You
The
wouldn't have recognized me. You wouldn't have recognized me.
oh
And
my
I
goodness.
feel very grateful to be alive.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel very grateful to be alive. So
What did he do afterwards when, because did he realize what he had done to you, or
he did. Yeah, he did realize it, but then once he was on his good behavior, which is not unusual. He was masking it. In other words, like he wore the mask.
yeah,
And then when I got home from the hospital, he took care of me and everything, but then same
it
thing
started
started again.
again?
But it was all verbal abuse. It was all verbal abuse. And at that time, I felt ashamed. I
Yeah.
didn't know what to do. I felt stuck and I felt ashamed. And, this went on for another 8 years until the stock market crashed in 2008. And then we
Mm.
lost over $100,000 of our savings in
Ooh.
mutual funds.
Yeah.
So we lost a lot of money and his business crashed. His business crashed basically after 9/11. And then I went out to work in corporate America so I could make a name for myself. I didn't know anything on I didn't know anything about the online space at the time. So I went out to work in corporate America. And I made a name for myself, but he became more jealous and resentful,
Yeah.
more jealousy and resentment because I had male colleagues and all this other stuff. So,
But also
um,
maybe because he couldn't control you, you were not in his company
control,
anymore, so the control was gone,
the
more
control
or
was
less.
gone. Correct.
Yeah.
There was no more control. So that was like the beginning of being independent because I wanted to be independent financially. So I worked really hard until I got laid off from a company that I made 6-figure income. And then his behavior got so worse. He was going for therapy and he was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and yeah, so that's when I just drew the line in the sand and I decided in May of 2010 that I was going to file a divorce because he was, trying to, he didn't hit me physically, but there was a lot of emotional abuse.
Yeah.
And he started to write balance transfer checks against our credit to buy mutual funds. And that was about $50,000 at the time. And I remember
Whoa.
one day driving to the bank and trying to withdraw money with only like $20 in my purse. And they said, your account is zero. I said, how could that be? I checked it. Oh no, it's zero. He withdrew all the money. He drained our
Whoa.
life savings. Yeah. So, talk about, yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. And so you would think, so like I said, I finally drew a line in the sand, and I drove down to Poughkeepsie, New York, and wrote out a balance. I actually wrote out a check that was like the last of my savings, basically. I wrote out a check to my attorney for $5,000 to start divorce proceedings.
Good for you. That was a big step, Angeline, in the right direction, correct?
Huge step.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and
Huge step in my journey.
Yeah, that's what a lot of ladies, they don't get to that step because they're stuck. Like you said, you felt stuck, and I hope that someone listening to this will resonate with those words. I felt stuck, but I felt shamed, but I knew I had to get out. I didn't deserve this. I'm just picking up all these words, and he's like, yes, you do deserve this. You deserve better. You deserve better. And I'm so glad you made that step for yourself, Angeline.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm glad I made that step. That was like liberating for me. And I didn't care at that point. I just made a plan. And when I filed my divorce, we went to court, and I drove to Saratoga Springs, New York, where I live now. And I spent the weekend up here with friends, and because I wanted to explore the area. I knew only like a couple of people up here because I had traveled up here for arts and entertainment, and also the track in the summer. So I stayed, and I loved the area so much that I made a 1-year plan to move up here. And when I made the plan, the one advice that I always say is to always keep in touch with the authorities, because in my
Yeah.
case, the police cooperated with me. I told
Oh,
them where I
that's a
was
good
going.
thing, huh?
Yeah, because normally the law enforcement is lax,
Yeah.
but in this case they were very supportive, um, and they knew he was lying, and they knew that he did all this stuff to me. So they said, okay, just let us know where you're going to be and what your plan is. So I made a 1-year plan to um, move up here. I was able to collect alimony from him because thanks to my attorney, who was a high powered attorney. I don't know if she's still practicing law or not, but a high powered attorney. So
Yeah.
I started to get involved in the online space, meeting on Facebook. And I found a supportive network. And not only did I find a supportive network, I founded a company that changed my life. And it was a health and fitness company. And I worked behind the scenes. I didn't let anyone know, because I didn't want my ex to know what I was doing. And I was basically living like a gypsy for 1 year, meaning that I would sleep on people's couches. I would sleep, in motel. At times I had to check into a motel because it was just unbearable. I had an order of protection, but it was like a limited order of protection. So I
Wow.
was staying upstairs and he was staying downstairs. So it was, yeah.
That's
That,
oof.
yeah. So talk about challenges, but when your challenges in life bring growth.
Yeah.
And so during the divorce proceedings, we went to court, like there was basically no progress until March of 2011. Then I started to travel up here to Saratoga Springs so I could find a place to live, because we were nearing settlement. So I found a small 1-bedroom apartment on the other side of town, with the same landlord I have now. And I executed my plan, and my goal was to move out by April 30th, which I did. And I had a witness there, because I didn't have very many belongings. I didn't really have a lot of furniture, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but I was determined to build a life for myself. And I was determined to bounce back from that challenge. So while I was involved with this health and wellness company, I the same day I signed my divorce papers was the same day I rank advanced in my company.
There you go. Awesome. Love that.
Whoa.
So
That is,
yeah,
I was just going to say,
I
that
know.
is amazing.
It's like a complete transformation. So anything can happen. Your life
Yeah.
can change
Within a day.
better, just like that,
Yeah.
in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
may
would you
be
say, sorry.
financial, and I suffered financial hardship. I did.
Yeah.
There was a lot of financial hardship, but I was determined to power through it. And I'm grateful because I had some money put aside as an emergency fund to carry me through those months. So it was especially the last 3 months because they were grueling. So,
Yeah.
when I moved up here, it was a complete change because now all of a sudden I felt like £1,000,000 was lifted off my shoulders.
I bet.
Yeah.
Like it was relief, and I didn't care. There were boxes all over the apartment, and you know what? I didn't care because guess what? I had a roof over my head, and I
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
free. So I
exactly.
was able to financially not only like move physically out of that toxic situation because it was a toxic marriage, but I escaped my abuser.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
And so you're in a
escaped
safe
my
place.
abuser.
Did he try to still keep some kind of control over you after the whole divorce was settled and after you moved to Saratoga Springs?
That's a good question. I never heard from him. Never heard from him again. And we didn't have children. So
That
yeah,
helps, huh?
he never tried to come up here. No, and I had my order of protection. So I actually had to go to the local police department and the sheriff's office because I had one extra month. So I gave them that, just in case
Yeah.
because what happens is a lot of times with women, unfortunately, the danger happens after they leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I made sure that I had all my ducks in line and had everything ready.
Yeah.
I had everything ready, including having a witness at the property at my former home, so I could, so I could plan my escape and leave.
Yeah.
Right.
And he knew when I was leaving too. So but then once I turned over the keys to him and I drove off, I never looked back.
Wow.
But that's
Never
actually
looked
the
back.
way to go.
Yeah.
If at
Exactly.
least if you don't have any other attachments, kids, or that's the way to do it, right?
Exactly.
What
Exactly.
about your
No emotional.
determination?
I didn't have an emotional attachment to him at all. At
Yeah.
all. At
That's
all.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the big thing because there's a lot of women that do, and they end up leaving, but they end up going back, and that is like the worst mistake you can make, And so it's very important, like you just said, just once you break that, just break it and break it off, and that's it. And it was so good that he never like tried to retaliate or come back, and I think that you showed him your power, like that is why there's women abusers too, but mostly they're men. So I'm going to go with this. And that's why
Mm.
men feel threatened by a woman when they see, oh, she has power, and they feel inferior. And they're like, I'm going to keep her down because she can't be, better than I am. Or that
Yeah.
ego drives it in. And so this is the conflict. And so yeah, for him not to retaliate, he saw your power. He said, oh Lord, I'm not going to go against that. And so
Right,
you rose up.
exactly. He saw the
Yeah,
power in me. Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
But also your determination to get out of that toxic environment and to make yourself to make it for yourself,
Right.
that's a big thing, right?
Sure. It's huge.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's huge to have, just to break free and bounce back from resilience. And I know that there's a lot of women out there, like Allie was saying, they tend to go back.
Yeah.
and it's so sad to watch.
And
And
it's sad to watch because guess what? They do the same thing all over again.
Yeah, it never stops, huh?
It never stops. So I'm going to go into something right now, which is called self love, loving yourself.
Yeah.
Loving yourself is so, so important because when you love on yourself, eventually you'll be able to love others. But the first thing is to, I talk about alignment a lot. And one of the things that I've learned is to love yourself. And my mentor taught me that for a few years ago. Love on yourself, go out on a date by yourself, go out to dinner by yourself. And it doesn't have to cost anything. Just go for a meditative walk in the park, go to a yoga class. So actually, I was doing this after I moved up here. I was going to yoga classes, dance classes. I was going to concerts. I was, going out. So I enjoyed I learned to enjoy my own company.
Yeah. That's so important.
It's so important because it gives you that power. It gives
Yeah.
you that confidence. Actually, let me change that. It gives you that confidence.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is so, so important. That is so important to regain your power, clarity, and confidence, which is what I was able to do, and also setting healthy boundaries. In other words,
Yeah.
like for me, it's so important to set healthy boundaries with certain people that, I'm not going to be available and that's it,
Yeah.
and it's important to love on yourself and support yourself. So I've been able to, support myself, and I've been able to, now what I'm doing is I spoke 2 months ago, actually it was in early December, at a mastermind event in San Diego for the first time. So I was called to speak and talk about the healing techniques that I incorporated um, after domestic violence. And I shared my story with 75 people for the first time,
That is so
myself
cool.
and everything. And, and I passed with flying colors. I am also a published author of a book series now, the Change book series with Les Brown on the front cover, that is scheduled to go out very soon. It's going to be published. It's going to be going out to 32 countries, including North America, Europe, and Asia.
amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing some live events, book signing
Mm-hmm.
events.
Yeah.
So that
Oh, I
was
can
huge for
imagine.
me. And I made a huge investment in myself. I mean, I've invested over $100,000 of my own savings in personal development
Yeah.
and all, making myself the best version of me, because that's so important, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
and it's important. I learned a lot about, money mindset, and also, learning, invest when you invest in yourself, you reap the rewards
Yeah. True.
instead of living in that lack. Because
Right.
if you're living in that scarcity mindset, those are the type of people that you will attract in your life.
Right.
When
Exactly.
you start to move into abundance, and there's plenty of abundance out there, plenty of money and plenty of abundance out there, then you start to attract the right people. So I, began, to attract the right people. I have mentors now. I have two mentors. So I'm always, and I myself have created my Let's Break the Silence signature program, which is on my website, let'sbreakthesilence.com, which is to help those women step into their full power and clarity. help them regain their clarity and confidence. I'm sorry. And I am hosting at my ultimate virtual event for women next week on January 23rd and 24th. So we have a lot of women who are going to be attending that. It's going
Nice.
to
Is it virtual, you said, huh?
be virtual. Yes,
Virtual,
it's going to
yeah.
be.
Cool.
You
Yeah.
know what it is? We are so blessed with social media because people from
Yeah.
all over the country, including Europe and Asia, were able to have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look at us. I'm in Europe and you guys are in the US, right?
And I'm in the US and I have a client from Australia.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she worked with me. You know, Alli worked with me too. She took my master classes and I could see a huge transformation with Alli. And I'm very proud of her, very proud of her. You know, she attended my master classes, very proud. You know, that is so liberating to reclaim your power.
Yeah.
It is so liberating. You have no idea. So my client from Australia, she's in the Philippines now. So she traveled to the Philippines, and you know, a few months ago, she was going through a lot of stuff. Even years after she divorced her husband, it was very hard for her because of that, you know, mindset. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, she felt still emotionally attached to him, but not anymore.
Good. Awesome. Love it.
She's living the life that she truly deserves to live. So I take people from that place of overwhelm.
Yeah.
You know, they're overwhelmed, you know, they feel inferior, which is common, especially after trauma.
Yeah.
You know, and I just, you know, right now what I'm doing is I am focusing and staying in my own lane, and I do not compare myself to other people anymore.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
Right. Comparaitis, they call that. I
Yeah.
don't, you know,
Compare.
myself to
Well,
people.
compare
They
compareritis.
call it comparaitis. My mentor said it's called comparaitis. And, you know, I focus.
I'm going to remember that one.
Good. And I tell my clients to celebrate your small wins, no matter how big or small they are. Celebrate your small wins because your small wins leads to the big wins. Right. So I claim victory instead of you know, being the victim. I said that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care how much money this divorce cost me. By the way, 14 and a half years ago, the divorce cost me $10,500 in New York. At that time, but that was the best money I've ever invested.
I was gonna say that. Yes, I was just gonna say. there's no
like, what? I said yes. That was the best money I ever invested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about reaping the rewards. So think about it. You know,
exactly.
Think about that. You know, so I have, you know, like my clients and I have a private Facebook group. And you know, I have a private community and Alli's in there, you know, a private community because I've been able to build a community of sisterhood.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now there's a lot of women that are coming into my Facebook group now. It's exploded in the last 2 weeks. Part of the reason is because I'm having this live virtual event, but you know, women are looking for hope. They're looking for a mentor. There is a huge difference between a mentor and a therapist. Talk therapy does not work.
No, not at all.
I'm not putting down any therapists at all, because I do have a friend who was a therapist, and I myself went for therapy for 1 year, but I had like a coach at that time who actually went through domestic violence, so she, you know, could relate what I was going through. But, you know, talk therapy does not work. You could only go in therapy for so long. They're just going to tell you the same thing. Having a mentor is a lot different than just going to therapy.
Yeah. True.
So
why do you think that it is that women nowadays are more open to share or more daring to share and to step up and step out?
Right. They're more willing to step out now. But I see this more and more now
Yeah.
because I know that for myself, um, taking that step. When people watch my journey, when people, I have like women who've been in my group for like 5 or 6 years and now they're ready. It's a
Yeah.
process. It's a
Yeah.
process. But people are watching us. So they see, oh, Angeline, look what she's doing. I can do that too.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I can do that too. So my workshop, which is next week on January 23rd and 24th at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I am going to be talking about the first thing is to step into victory. And the second day, we're going to talk about standing in your authority. So I have an event link that I'm able to that I'm more than happy to
Please.
share.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Then
So it's
we'll drop it in the description so that
good.
everybody can
Very good.
find it.
So I was gonna suggest that.
Awesome. Yes, and I do weekly podcast episodes. So this week I talked about 5 ways to align with your true purpose and calling. So I have a weekly podcast episode. So the name of my podcast is Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. I'm on Spotify, Apple, Google, and YouTube, and all the other live streams that you listen to. So
Cool. So people can find you if they want
people can
to,
find me.
when they want to.
Right. And they can find me on social media. So I'm on Facebook at Angeline Constantinou. My Facebook page is Let's Break the Silence. That's my Facebook fan page, where I have over 2,000 people. And I also have Instagram, which is Angeline I'm sorry, Constantinou. And my new TikTok channel. So Alli, I had to start a new account. So it's Angeline, Angeline underscore break the silence 37. So I'll send
Oh,
you all this.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just send me all the links, or at least so that I can find them, and we'll put them in the description.
good,
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah,
good.
look at you guys. Awesome. Yeah, and I was gonna say too, Angela, and I've seen such a transformation from you too. We've come like so far with like within 2 years. It's just been amazing.
I
We've always
know.
just dabbling here and there. We're just going full force, so like just pushing through, and I love that. And we need more empowering ladies out there, standing up, like you're saying, standing up and saying,
Mm.
"This is my real identity." And
This
Yeah.
is my
can't
real
wait to see all.
identity. Right, right. That's one thing. And these are the tools that I learned to reclaim my identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's
So
amazing.
it's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Yes, it's gonna be really, really good. So we do appreciate having you on the live today,
Thank
and
you,
thank you
Ellie.
again for being so flexible with time. And yeah, we hope to see you again soon. I'm sure you'll be doing something down the road that we probably have you back on for.
Oh,
And it's
good.
been a pleasure. Yeah, it's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank
Thank you so much, Allie,
thank
for
you
having
very much.
pleasure to meet you.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, it was. I've heard stories about you from Ali, and I was like, oh, now I do want to meet the woman.
Good, good. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. So
So
thank you,
we're so
and
Thank
this is
you.
yes, you're welcome.
goodbye, and see you
Goodbye.
Next time on the
on
fast
the
See you.
track.
fast track.
Oh, I love the
So
name of the pod. I love the name of your show. I love the name
Thank
of
you.
your show.
thank
Thank you.
you.
You're welcome. And we'll definitely keep in communication.
Yes, let's do that.
We'll stay in connect. Allie, we're always talking every day. So,
Yeah.
but like I
Cool.
said, I'm very proud of you because Allie has transformed her life. Just
Yes, she
complete
has.
180. Yeah.
It's an amazing journey. It's an amazing journey, and like you said, it's like there's no price on freedom, no price at
There you
all.
go. There you go. You can't put a price on freedom, is right.
Nope.
So,
Mhm.
Cool. Okay. See you on the fast track next time. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye, everyone.